Peace and love. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Before we get into this very important video, I'd like to give you a brief introduction. This video is part one of an introductory overview that will attempt to explain the history of government and the New World Order, starting from pre-dynastic times up into the first ruling dynasties. This video will reveal one of the greatest deceptions of all time by explaining how time was manipulated, why the timeline was split when we talk BC and AD, and the true origins of humanity. Evolution is a Darwinian philosophy rooted in racism. Now, we know the Earth is more than 2,000 years old, but we're taught to believe that it is really year 2018 right now, and that prior to 7,000 years ago, humans were bow and arrow carrying apes. We're actually taught to believe that civilization just popped up in the Egyptian desert 7,000 years ago because of some bogus king named Narmer. Truth is that Greece and Egypt have many secrets regarding their true origins, and the secret societies of the world created evolution to hide our true human origins behind ape stories. What is the difference between pre-dynastic time and dynastic time? In the next series of videos, we will be going into all of these things in detail. But for the first two videos of this series, we will be doing an extended introductory overview of the entire timeline. Now, the picture you're looking at behind me is from a book called Gardens of War, and it talk about Stone Age wars. And this particular book talk about the Stone Age wars of New Guinea. But there were worldwide wars that was going on in what many refer to as the Stone Age, and it is these wars that hold a secret to how we got thrusted into today's New World Order. What were these first wars about? In the beginning, was the earth like what we know it today? I would say no. There's been many changes, and these series of videos will show you how we get from perfection to imperfection. If you're a Christian, you're aware that the Bible is also a historical book, which gives us a historical account from a mythological perspective. With that being said, we know that there was history prior to Genesis. Many Christians say this was the time when there were wars in the heavens. I got news for you guys. When the Bible talks about wars in the heavens, it's talking about the first wars that took place on earth that got humanity removed from the perfect Garden of Eden that the Bible speaks of. This Garden of Eden concept is a mythological story which gives an account of Stone Age civilizations. These Stone Age civilizations were written out of history so that people today will never know the truth about how great we once were. And the reason these Stone Age civilizations were written out of history is because they represent a golden age time that predates history. And it's called her story. And that's what we'll be talking about today. So the book behind me is called Gardens of War, and we all are familiar with the Garden of Eden. The first societies that lived and thrived on this earth were gardening-based societies, just like the Garden of Eden described. And they were ruled over by women who held the secrets of the seeds and the plants. The very first wars that took place were a series of wars that many like myself call gender wars, because these wars were about the genetics of humanity, the genesis of humanity. So to understand more of what I'm talking about when I speak of these gardens of war, let's get right into the presentation. Now, one more thing before we get...
I am Little Tiki, Brooklyn, BK, Atkins.
Into this presentation. In order for you to get the most out of this presentation, I beg of you to pause and read the captions on the screen. If you don't read the screen along with listening to my voice, you won't get the most out of the presentation. Some of you who've been following me for a while, some of the slides that's gonna pop up on the screen You already read them. But just a note to everybody watching this video, to get the most out of it, you have to pause and read the captions and look over the collages, because I'm teaching with the visuals as well as my voice. So please pay close attention to the screen. If you blink, you might miss something, and you're gonna have to pause sometimes throughout the video to read the captions. But one thing to make it go smooth, when the screen change and a new collage or a new caption pop up, wait till I finish my next sentence and hit pause right there. And that way you don't pause in the middle of my sentence. And then when you finish reading the collage or the caption, you hit play, and it's like you're in the middle of my sentence. You forgot what I was saying, and you don't want to have to keep hitting rewind. So one thing I found out is when a new screen pop up or a new caption pop up, it'll stay up there for a couple of seconds or sometime even a couple of minutes. So you can wait until I finish my next sentence and hit pause right in between there. Go ahead and read over it and continue on with play. So with everything being said, guys, let's find out how we left the golden age of gardening-based societies and ended up into this new world order of slaughterhouses and GMO and all of that good stuff. And this is part one of Her Story to His Story. Let's get it. The main objective of this video is to reveal how the true record of human origins was hidden behind the timeline of evolution. To understand how and why this greatest deception was achieved, first we must understand